opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello everyone. It's just me tonight, so I hope I don't, ruin this whole thing. But I couldn't find anyone that was free this evening, so I just pulled up a few things, and that's why I said this, that, and the other thing, because I figured I could just talk about, this is a whole bunch of damn things that's been popping on my timeline and on some of the other apps that I've been on. And plus, I just did a test run over on TikTok to go live stream over there. And it turned out pretty good. And it was interesting. But man, just trying to learn all this different software and everything is a real pain in the butt. If anybody's ever, done that kind of stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I say, hi, Six Nations. Thank you for hanging out. I saw you earlier in here. And hi, Crafting Gamer. And hi, Jackie. I know that you come in and always try to help me out. I'm very, very appreciative. And baby girl, you're like a rock all the time. You're so sweet. But I appreciate it. But I am not gonna try to do a bunch of the same stuff that I do on the shit show. I'm more lean way more to political stuff. This tonight I've got quite a few things from just all over the place that I thought would be good. So the first thing I want to share is something I saw, and it did make me cry, but I just couldn't help it. It's just so inspirational, and I hope that you guys like it too. Let me make sure it's the right one. I think this is it. Okay, here we go. This one isn't the one. This is a different one, but this is funny, and I wanted to share it because I think everybody would get a kick out of it. So here we go.
Slapping a cop, sucker slapping him. The cop has just had enough. He's like, put your hands on the car, you're under arrest. That obviously doesn't phase the soy ninjas, so he's about to pull out and tag team the fur missile in, and Cookie the dog is coming in for a nibble. Now crunching on this dude like a friggin' nasty, moldy hot pocket. Poor dog is gonna have to wash his mouth out with some friggin' gargle mouthwash. Welcome to Chicago, where at first glance it looks like Discount Cartman is pissed off because he ran out of cheesy boots, or he's robbing the place, and Booyah takes several shots. Either a mask just fell out of his pocket, or that might be a chunk of his hat. And Old Man Withers pulls out that Wi-Fi hole puncher, gets to work, and starts distributing generous doses of penicillin, followed up with some complimentary booster shots, saving these guys a future trip to the hospital. Welcome back to Brazil, where justice is just moments away, especially in these videos. Like right now, taking a chitty bang bang to the testicles. Now look at this guy. He is just patiently, methodically trying to take out the suspects. Let's just call them for what they are. They're freaking criminals. We have it right here on video. And now he's going after him. You've heard of John Wick. This is John Frick, who is 10 times more dangerous, showcasing great composure as this criminal falls on the ground, pleading for his life. Take this clip, for example. In 2013, a robber tried to take this man's car. He's like, not today. I've got to get to work, and if I don't get that paycheck, Martha's going to leave me for the pool boy Felipe, so it's either me or you. Sharon gets ready to lock and load, and booyah, under the snot locker. Little Red Riding Hood swinging for the fences like a little soy bitch. And now looks like his boyfriend comes to rescue him from the hands of Sharon. Sharon's like, get back here, we're just getting started, you little shit. This drunk dude ends up kneeing the cop in the egg roll, and he's like, this ain't America, motherfucker. Welcome to Romania.
I love this guy. Yeah, this Steve Eyman guy, he has some really good videos. So if look him up and follow him if you want to see some really good stuff. And I love his commentary. I guarantee probably he does have a job working like, like for, baseball or golf or something, or even boxing. He's just really, really talented, and he's funny as heck. But this next thing, I think it's the one. Oh, hi, Chris. I didn't see you because I wasn't reading. I was too busy trying to figure out what I'm doing. But this next one, I think it's the one. I think it's down here at the other end. Darn, I'm so bad at this stuff. Maybe this is it. Okay, here it is. This is a really good one. It's a video of a boy that calls into a radio station and talks about his story that God showed him. So I want you guys to listen to this. It's pretty good. Here we go.
This is 13-year-old Logan Henderson. He lives on a ranch in the middle of Nebraska. Isolated from much of the world, he often listens to KSBJ Christian Radio out of Houston, Texas, which he picks up on Sky Angel. In late October, Logan made a call to the station that would soon be heard around the world.
Hey, Mike, can I talk to you?
You bet, Logan. What's up?
I want to tell you something that God just told me.
Okay.
Last night, my dad was roping this calf. And this calf had been born from a really old cow. She didn't have really the greatest milk. She didn't have, like, the vitamin C and stuff.
Okay.
Hold on. Mom?
So cute. I guess his mom's talking.
I'm talking right now. I'll be up in a second. But sorry about that. But anyway, she broke her back. And this morning I went out and put her down myself. I was talking to God. I was asking God why she was special. And God said, you know, Logan, my son was special, but he died for a purpose. It's kind of the same thing. That calf was close to me, and God's son was close to him.
Logan, you're so right. It's true. Think you're gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. But I just wanted to tell you guys that is so important. Just remember, when you lose a loved one or a pet, always remember that God gave his son too, and he understands. He will always understand. He will always just run to him.
Logan, you're wiser than you know, buddy.
Oh, sometimes I don't think I'm wise. Trust me, I've done a lot of stupid stuff, but I've learned from it.
Yeah, but see, buddy, that's what makes you wise. Somebody that learns from their mistakes.
Oh, I just figured I'd better call and share with you guys. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I thought that was a great little call into the radio station. Gets me all teary-eyed and messed up, but it really is good. But I just wanted to share that one because sometimes we all need to, hear stuff like that. And then I'm going to play this. This is another really great person I love to watch or listen. Yeah, watch his videos. Scott Obedo from New York, and he's always got good stuff to say that a lot of us are already thinking. So here we go.
Now that the stars are in your eyes, I hope you're beginning to see the light. So another big union endorsed Mr. Adams today. These union endorsements here in this city for Adams just keep piling up. So you know what? Fuck it. Scotty's out. I'm throwing in the towel. Fuck the other guy. I got time for this shit. Plus, you people finally convinced me. All you true New Yorkers out there. Anybody but Adams, Ma'am Dandy. I mean, anybody but Ma'am Dandy, Scott. You're not a New Yorker if you're going to just... And Scott, anybody but... I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm tough. Anybody but Ma'am Dandy, Scott. Let me start with this. Here's the handful of these big union guys, respectfully. that endorse these big Democrat politicians. Sorry, I got some sticky shit on my fingers. It is what it is. It's New York City. It's how it works. But all you chicken suits out there who are just falling for this shit, like, oh, all the unions are backing up means we got it. You know, anybody but Ma'am Dan. We got. I don't like Adams either, but hey, we got to save the fucking city. Where? There's just a handful of these big union guys over here. The millions of the rank and file members of these unions are not stupid. They have good memories. They are not going to back this piece of shit Adams, who fucked them so hard day in and day out. They're busted their fucking balloon knots. They're walking around like they just got off a rodeo horse. Remember? No jab, no job. I remember. Anybody but Ma'am Dandy. That anybody's name is Curtis fucking Sliwa. Get it? Everything's changing. All that knee-jerk reactionary bullshit. Get over to anybody but Bucky. Get over to Adams. And you fucking people, the media, you people are still listening to the liberal woke-ass fucking media that destroyed this country. Thank God for Trump fixing it. You still listen to these fucking people? And what happened to the so-called Fair and Balanced network? They used to have me on once a week for the last 30 years. Not anymore. I guess because I speak the fucking truth. And that's who you listen to, kids. You don't listen to this so-called Fair and Balanced media and all the other local media. All day, that's all you hear. Two names. Hey, rap, Adams. Adams got the lead. Adam, we got to wait for Adam. Ma'am Dandy. Ma'am Dandy. Ma'am Dandy. Oh, Adams. Oh, Ma'am Dandy. Oh. Curtis Sliwa. Once a week, you say it. But that don't matter, people, because us New Yorkers, flip the fucking narrative here. We're in charge of this fucking race. Curtis Sliwa is going to fucking save this city because he's going to be the next mayor. You get it? It's very simple. It's going to wind up Curtis Sliwa and Ma'am Dandy. That's what's going to happen. And every one of you New Yorkers out there are going to have to make a decision. And I'm not even going to say a tough decision. I don't care your ethnicity, your gender, your religion, your ideology, your political affiliation. You're going to look at these two at the end of the day, and you're going to say, I am not voting for this little commie cocksucker. I'm voting for Curtis. And one more thing for you workers, union and non, millions of you out there in this city. Curtis Sliwa wins, prosperity is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. And a prosperous city, say it with me, a prosperous city is a working city. See the fucking light.
Oh, I hope he's right, because man, I tell you, New York is in bad shape. I mean, really bad shape. They have had, I don't know what happened to him after they had Rudy Giuliani. I mean, he was a good president. I mean, a good mayor. He was good for their city, and he was good for their state, and the police officers loved him. I thought everybody loved him, but apparently they wanted to go left. Oh, they wanted to go way, way left. And I don't know. I just don't understand it. I've always been a conservative. I've always, my whole life. I can't even think about it when I was little, wanting to save every penny that I could in my piggy bank so I could buy something for myself. And then when I did buy something, I took really good care of it because I didn't want it to, get torn up. I put it away. I took care of it. I guess I just wasn't ever a normal kid, whatever that is. But yeah, there's so many weird things going on lately with people. I mean, you're getting, there's nut jobs out there just whacking people for nothing. We have people just, I don't know, going nuts. People are just robbing places and just, it's like they don't care. Like they have no purpose in life besides to do shit and then die, over it. I don't know. I don't get it. But everywhere I look, I'm seeing so many bad things. And this is one that I thought was interesting because of it was a 17-year-old that killed that woman, that paddleboard woman, they arrested a 17-year-old for the evidence that they found that led to this person. So the thing is that it's like they're getting younger and younger and younger. And they're so coddled and given everything. I mean, from the moment they're a toddler, we're giving them iPads and computers and cell phones and all this stuff. And they sit in front of the TV and they're just bombarded with all these crappy shows about me. And then we drive through drive-throughs all the time to buy them their food. They drink soda pop and they drink Red Bulls and they drink all this crap. I don't know. I just don't know what we're going to do. I mean, our country is just not in good shape. But I just don't know what we're going to do about it. We have got to start praying more. We've got to start trying to get people to see the light, that there is something after this, and don't let it be darkness. Let it be light.
Also, police in Maine have arrested a 17-year-old suspect in connection with the alleged murder of a paddleboarder who was found dead after being reported missing earlier this month. Her name was Sunshine Stewart, and she had been staying at this campground prior to her disappearance. Her body later discovered nearby, and state police say that her cause of death was strangulation and blunt force trauma. The suspect is a male who has not been named by police and came to the pond, we're told, to spend summer vacation with his family. That's according to an official familiar with this investigation. Now, ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin has been following this story for more. Olivia, I know details are still sparse here, but what is the latest on this investigation? And we obviously assume that authorities are trying to determine some kind of motive.
Right, Kana, and it seems from police that details are sparse intentionally. They have put out statements saying, hey, we're not giving out information because when we do find this suspect, we want the details to be so closely held that only the suspect would know some of them, and that they won't be releasing information until it is time. So this seems to be quite strategic from officials going forward so far. But what we do know, again, is a little bit more about the investigation. As you say, we don't know motive, but we are learning how they got to this point. And that includes, Kana, asking for DNA samples. They had asked people in the area for voluntary DNA samples, and that could have been something that helps them lead to this suspect. We also know that they had been combing through surveillance footage on a campsite where Sunshine had allegedly been spending some time. The owner of that site had told ABC that she had over a dozen cameras on her dozens of acres of property there, and that investigators had been there day after day, and that she had given them that footage. So these are all tools that investigators had in their pockets to try to lead them to this point. But again, still so many questions that we don't have the answer to in an area that had been sort of rocked by this incident and this brutal murder that they are alleging here. Again, this is a beautiful, idyllic location for something so horrific to happen.
All right, Olivia Rubin, our thanks to you for that reporting.
Isn't that terrible? That is terrible. He goes on
tonight, a former pro baseball.
Sorry. He goes with his parents on a trip, and while he's there, he beats this lady to death, kills this woman. And we don't know for sure why, but this kind of stuff. I mean, we got Kohberger case, where he went in and he stalked these people for almost a year, I guess. And then he went in and he beat and stabbed them to death, almost like what Ted Bundy did when he went on that rampage and killed those 7 people in the sorority house or whatever. And then the last person he killed was that young girl, like a 12-year-old girl, and left her in an old building or whatever. It's perverted and disgusting. I just don't know what we're going to do to recover from this kind of stuff around our country. It's like I don't know. I have no answers, but it's just like everywhere I turn, it's some other something that's not good. I mean, there are still good things, like that young boy calling in. It's still good things are happening, but we have so many lost people, so many lost people out there, but I still see people fighting, trying to take back our cities and our towns, and just getting up and quitting your job and selling your home and moving to another town isn't enough. Because if you don't move to the other town and start doing the things that you should have done in the town you were in before, then how are you helping? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't. But here's another thing. a good thing, because even though this person's a Democrat, you know, and I don't know that many Democrats that I feel are want to help our country, this one seems to want to. And I think it's funny because in a way, Trump, just like I said, the day that first thing came out saying that Trump was saying, just forget about the Epstein files and stuff, it was that I felt it was reverse psychology. And I still believe it is, because I have never seen so many Democrats jumping on the bandwagon to release information that's been out there for so long. And all of a sudden, because Trump says forget about it, don't talk about it, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. They're all like, whoo-hoo, let's bring out the Epstein files or whatever and arrest people. So I'm hoping that enough of them throw each other under the bus because, well, I know that there's some other people that have an R by their name that are probably on this list too. And I want all of them to be prosecuted. If they have the evidence, I think they should take them to court. But I want to share this because I thought this was interesting, because I'm finally getting other people's points of view. But I haven't seen this many. I mean, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Rumble, on X, I mean, on everything. And Telegram, everybody's talking about it. Democrats are like leading the charge, or liberals, whatever you want to call it, are leading the charge that we gotta burn the Epstein case. We got to get it out there and just get all these people's names out there and stuff. Except the people that are on the thing, they're like, yeah, you know, they're not making any noise because they don't want it out. You know, they don't want to be investigated. But it would be nice to find out, you know, or not really find out who's on it. I mean, we all speculate who or what or whatever, but I just want to see somebody arrested, you know, somebody arrested and go to trial. And, you know, I never thought that I'd ever see P. Diddy go to trial, but he did. And now he didn't get all the counts, but 2 of them stuck. He's going to have prison time. And whoever thought that would happen? I didn't. I was shocked as shit that they even arrested him. So that's a start. And the fact that these people are jumping on the bandwagon to prove Trump wrong, it's great. You know, and if that's it, I wish more people would look at it that way, because who cares while they're doing it? It's the fact that people are doing it. And that's what we got to look at and go, yes, guys, darn it, freaking about time that they start fighting for children and for all these sick pigs to finally get what they deserve. But we have to go through the letter of the law. We have to arrest people. We have to let them get lawyers and drag it out through court. I mean, they're still prosecuting people after 9/11. So I look how long it took. I mean, people are still appealing and doing all that stuff. People that get death penalty, like this Koberger guy, normally this guy is probably not supposed to get anything because he took a plea deal, but they normally, when they get charged with killing someone, it takes them 30 years to get the death penalty, if that's what they end up getting, because it's drawn out and they drag it out as long as they can because no one's left alive. You know, I don't know. It's just pathetic. But to see this to listen to this guy, it's nice. It's nice to hear someone else on the other side demanding justice. So here we go. Listen.
Treasury's Epstein file details, Mr. President, 4,725 wire transfers. Let me repeat that. 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.1 billion flowing in and out of just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, that is more than 4,000 potential lines of investigation right there. Hundreds of millions more flowed through other accounts. That's even a lot more to investigate. The file shows that Mr. Epstein used multiple Russian banks, which are now under sanctions, to process payments related to sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. A lot of the women and girls he targeted came from Russia, Belarus, Turkey, and elsewhere.
Yeah. See, that's a lot of stuff that people didn't know about. nobody was talking about it. So the fact that we're finally talking about it and getting it on record of people talking about it. But guess who's not talking? Oh, hold on for a second. I got to go back and turn that off. Hold on. Sorry, all I did was stop showing it. I didn't turn off the video. But the thing is, it's what's interesting is when you start hearing everybody bringing up all this evidence, bringing stuff out, saying they've got documents proving that this money passed hands and that people came from here, there, and wherever, right? You got all that information, but then you don't hear certain people talking at all. I haven't heard Hillary Clinton in quite a while. You know what I mean? Certain people just sit down and don't say anything. They just hide in the corner and sip on their latte or whatever and don't say anything. Why? Because maybe they are just waiting to see what's going to happen because they're petrified. They're very worried about the exposure they may be getting very soon. So I don't know, but it's, I think it's interesting. So I'm just been watching and reading and, I've been really busy. I got baby chicks now. That's what took me so long. I was a little bit late because I was trying to get the mama hen and her babies in a little dog carrier. So I won't lose any more of them because I've lost 2 of them to something. I don't know what it was, but it was going right under her and taking the babies. So since I've been locking her up, nothing's gotten in there. So I'm real happy with that. But, oh, well, I'm a little bit late, but it's okay. I don't get paid. I just do this because I want to, I don't know why, but I get a lot of hate from it. But I just think it's important to talk about some of these things that other people don't talk about. And people like, American Bob sharing some of this information. He's been sharing, and he does spaces on X. So that's important. And then we also have people like Chris Moore, that tries to share as much stuff as he can. So there are people out there that are educated, that are trying to share facts with other people, but you can't force people to read and you can't force people to watch or listen to you. It doesn't matter what you share. People only going to see what they want to see. You know what I mean? You can't do anything about it. All you can do is just say, well, I did the best I could. It's just like you're supposed to preach the gospel, right? And you can do that. But you can't make people, accept Jesus Christ or anything like that. You just can't force anyone to stop drinking or to stop smoking or any of the things that they do. That's on themselves. We all have to make decisions for ourselves and live our own lives to the best of our abilities. But you can't feel bad about it and blame yourself because someone didn't take the road that you took. You have to learn to live with the fact that you did the best you could and they took their own path. And we have to live with that. There's nothing we can do about it. But it's hard sometimes, especially when you really care about them. Well, this is another thing that came across my timeline I thought was pretty interesting. And it wasn't even on a channel I normally would watch. Every so often I watch some of the financial stuff about stocks and stuff because yes, I do own stocks. I don't run it though. I hand it over to other people and let them make the best decisions for me because I don't really understand enough about it. But I do like to go and listen to some of the things they're talking about and how it affects us, like with the tariffs and stuff. Some of those things I've been watching it a little bit more. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is interesting. But I want you to listen to this. This is pretty good. And I like this guy. He's very smart. He sounds smart because of his accent and stuff. But I think you guys might enjoy his whole little deal here. So here we go.
Numerous doxing websites. They're listing personal information of ICE agents. Matt Finn joining us this morning. All right, Matt, is the administration going to prosecute the people behind these websites?
They promise they are going to. And here in California, Stu, there is a bill that passed a key committee this week aimed at preventing law enforcement from covering their face on the job. But at the same time, acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said ICE agents are getting their photos and personal information posted online along with death threats.
Mm-hmm.
In a new July memo, DHS is calling on the Justice Department to prosecute anyone suspected of doxing ICE agents by posting their photos and private information online or in public.
When their name, their operations, their work is being revealed, we will make that a federal crime.
Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn wants to stiffen penalties for publishing personal information about agents. She introduced the Protecting Law Enforcement from Doxing Act. At the same time, some Democrats and anti-ICE activists want to make it easier to identify agents by prohibiting them from wearing masks.
Only the bad guys wear masks. Why are they masked?
Who are these people?
Fox News spoke to this ICE special agent who was shocked to find a photo of himself and his wife, along with the small town where they live, posted on a doxing website targeting agents.
My wife is home a lot with my 3 kids, and she doesn't have the ability to protect herself like I do.
The doxing is costing their family emotionally and financially.
We spent close to $1,000 on additional cameras for various points of our home.
This is awful. It wasn't even 2 years ago, and they were saying you should be wearing a mask while you're driving down the road by yourself in your car. Now they're mad because you have agents that are trying to protect themselves from being shot, protecting the city that they work in, or the town they work in, or the state they work in, and now they're bitching and moaning they're wearing masks. It's just ridiculous. But all these people, they go into these businesses and they wear masks and headscarves and all this stuff, and they steal, rake stuff off the shelves into garbage bags, to where now we have stores you go in and the customer can't even buy anything unless they have someone come open all the glass cabinets and put it in their cart. So it won't be long. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have people rushing in and taking your grocery cart full of shit and walking out the store with it. And then you're going to have to start all over again, because they can't open the cabinets themselves and take it. They're just going to take what you've already went through and got. And then what's going to happen? I mean, see, they get away with it. They make you the bad guy and have to wait around and stand in line for your small amount of stuff and pay 3 times more for it, simply because they're just letting other criminals come in and take whatever they want and push you aside because you're useless, because you're a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. It's just disgusting and sad. And then you got people saying, well, they deserve it. For what? They haven't even worked a day in their life. They've come here, come over the border, breaking the law to get in here. Then they come here, and then we're supposed to just let them take whatever they want for free after we've got people that have been working here their whole lives, and some of them are on the street. It's disgusting. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rampage, but I can't help it. This kind of stuff pisses me off. And we just went through all this. Remember all the people getting doxxed and having pizzas delivered to their house and all kinds of crap. It's ridiculous.
And this morning, the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, tells Fox Business that an ICE agent is recovering after a Honduran national who was ordered deported 4 years ago allegedly dragged the ICE officer with his car nearly 230 feet during an attempted arrest traffic stop in Oklahoma. That migrant is being federally prosecuted. Stu.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks very much, Matt. California Democrat Eric Swalwell. He's criticizing the tactics used by ICE agents. Watch this. Okay,
that's on another video. But the thing is that we have people that we put in office to, make it safer for us to live here because we voted for them. And then what do? They tell you they care about things and they want to help your cities. They want to do this, that, and the other. Then all they do is tear the cops down. They don't want cops to come to your house, but I guarantee you, either they have bodyguards or they have security systems and everything set up to keep them safe. But if you're poor and you live in a trailer park, or if you live in a complex, it's like 18 units. We don't have, special guards, and we don't have cameras and all that stuff to protect us. And what happens between the time you call 911 and the time that they get there? if they even get there? You know, what do we do then? See, that's the sickening part. The part that we work our ass off. We fight to get our checks without a shit of it taken out of it for the government, right? And then the government takes that money and then they do everything they possibly can to make sure you get less money and you're less safe. Your kids can't go to school and be safe riding the bus because you got illegals driving buses or cars on the roads, and they can't even read the signs and they can't even pass the test. They're just given driver's license, you know, stuff like that. It just doesn't, none of this makes any sense. It's like total stupidity in my point of view. It's ridiculous, and it's nuts. I mean, I can't even talk about it because there's no reasoning behind any of it. It does none. It's like they're taking every dumbass thing that you've ever heard in your life when you were a kid and your mom said, well, don't jump off the roof, don't go starting fires with gasoline, don't do this, don't do that. And the Democrats are just writing it all down, and they're going out and doing this shit. You know, that's what it seems like. It seems like that they're doing everything they can possibly do that's as stupid as possible to hurt us, the taxpayers. What happens when there's no taxpayers? I mean, who are they going to get to do anything? They're going to bring all these people in and then just throw you out in the street and then give your house to whoever will clean their toilet. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just so sickening to me. It makes me so mad. But I can't help it. I'm on a rant tonight. I'm just seeing so many things, some good things, but a lot of dumb shit. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of dumb shit. Okay, here's another one. Let's see. Which one was it? I think it's this one. Here we go. I'll bring it up. Oh, yeah. This was something I saw that made me laugh because, you know, there's not enough stuff that goes on that makes you laugh. But it's a making a fake. It's not real. You know, it's a comedy skit, basically. It's the making of Jesse's Girl. It's supposed to be set in December 15th in 1980, supposedly. And it's the band writing the song, basically, and writing the music. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And hopefully I don't get in too much trouble. But this is a parody. It's not real. And it's you know, it's just for fun. So I might have to pause it a few times because I don't want to get in trouble for doing anything I'm not supposed to.
Do this.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I was up late last night with this one. So, Scoob, you come in with the bass line I told you. Bum, bum, bum. Yep. And Jesse, just hi-hat. These fours and a hi-hat to begin with, okay?
Okay.
Cool? Monica? You just enjoy it. Okay, we're rolling in there. Here we go. Jesse is a friend. Yeah, no, it's been a good friend of mine. But lately something changed, it ain't hard to define. Jesse's got himself a girl and I wanna make her mine. Bitches watching him. Oh, just getting going here. Come on, that was sounding good.
What happened?
You got a problem?
I guess not.
Good? Good? All right, where was I?
Jesse's got himself a girl and I want to make her mine.
Exactly. Jesse's got himself a girl and I want to make her mine. And she's watching him with those eyes. And she's loving him with that body, I just know it. And he's holding her in his arms late at night. No, I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Rick, what the
I wish I had Jesse's girl. You trying to steal my girlfriend?
Dude, come on. You're being paranoid. Is he always this paranoid?
Maybe.
It's just a song. I mean, you know, if your relationship's that shaky, you know, I'm just saying maybe she should be with somebody else.
Yeah, it's like your name. It's cool.
Good?
Fine.
Still rolling? Chorus. Count us in.
1, 2,
I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Tell me, where can I find a woman like that? What is your problem?
No, that's not cool, Rick.
Jesse.
Rick.
Jesse.
no.
Jesse, don't.
That's not cool.
What's going on with him? Why is he acting so?
I don't know. God, ever since I told him I was pregnant, it's just been like disaster.
You're pregnant?
Yeah.
Jesse. Jesse, we're all good, pal. Point his moon.
I just thought that was hilarious. It's the way it always is, isn't it? You know, you want something that you can't have, but then when you realize that they got baggage or whatever, you're not interested. It's just so funny. So typical of real life. But I thought it was hilarious. And you never really know the truth behind any of these songs and stuff anyways. I really do like to go look stuff up. You know, like I'll hear something on the radio and I'm like, that's interesting. I never thought about why that song was, you know, this or that or whatever. And I'll go look it up. And it's interesting sometimes to look things up and try to find out, you know, what made them think about, you know, writing that song or that movie script or that novel, you know, things like that. It is fun, but I just thought that was funny. I hope you guys got a kick out of this. That was great because, you know, it seemed possible, you know what I mean? But here's another thing. I thought this was interesting. I thought you guys might be interested in this too. I don't know if anybody's been paying a lot of attention to all these floods that's been going on in Texas and in a few other states. Texas has just been so weird because all these years I've had relatives in Plano, in Louisville, Texas, in Bonham, Texas, Houston. So there's a big gap there that I've just driven through. I've never really stayed there. So I don't really know a lot about the very middle, but I can tell you right now, usually in this time of year, it's a dust bowl because everybody's always like, yeah, we can't water our yard. We can't do this. We can't do that because we're under a burn ban, you know, because they're not getting enough rain. And then all of a sudden, you know, it happens every so often because I do remember my mom talking about some of her cousins and things hadn't to leave because they were under flood zone areas or whatever. Now they didn't lose their homes because it didn't flood, but that they did leave and go stay with other relatives until the danger went away, just like what we did get used to when you're in Louisiana or Florida or wherever, and there's a hurricane coming. You just get out of there to safety because I'd rather be inconvenienced and not be home for a little bit than be there and then having to wait on your roof, if you've even been able to get to your roof, for some helicopter to come, you know, pick you up or whatever. So, but this is interesting. This is a video that someone posted of some of the floods, watching it from an aerial shot, which is really, really scary when you see the homes and you see the river and the road and what everyday life looks like. And then when you add way too much water, you know, overflow from other streams or rivers and all the rain on top of it, and then them at the different dams opening the floodgates to keep their areas from overflowing. And that's part of what happened down in New Orleans, is that 2 levees were not opened at all. So it caused problems. They didn't drain off any of the water, so it flooded. It's terrible, the devastation that happens. And boy, you don't want to be around after a flood. It's nasty, especially in the heat of summer. But here we go. I'm going to let you guys watch this. It's very, very interesting. And I think I'll share this. Let me get this real quick. I'm going to share this in the chat with everyone afterward, because this is something I think you're going to want to share. Okay, now this is sped up, so it's coming in a way faster than it really did, because you could tell by the way the people are walking and the way the cars are moving and stuff. But look how far up away from the water level is rising. That's what I wanted you to pay attention to. That is the part that's so shocking, because people that probably never saw a flood or thought their house would ever flood, even though their paperwork might have said that you're in a flood zone, it's still shocking just to see something like that happen. It's scary as hell. And one reason when I first moved to New Orleans, I called and talked to a lot of my friends that were down there, and I was like, do you live in a flood zone? And they said, no. And I said, where do you live? I live in Metairie. And then a few others I talked to, and they said, yeah, I'm in the flood zone, but it's never flooded. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't move there. When I moved to Metairie, where it was above the flood zone, even though it could have flooded if if New Orleans was completely gone with water, it would have reached where I was living. But it just is just really devastating to sad. Terrible, and it's frightening to think about it. But you got to remember, now that was sped up. This was, even though they do it because they want more people to freak out over it, it's still this high up. Okay, it still went all the way up in here and covered these houses completely, and that is at least 8 feet deep, right here, or more, 12 feet deep if it's covering roofs and stuff. And it's just really sad. And I've been praying every day for all these people. So many people lost loved ones and lost everything. I mean, when you're jumping in a car and you're taking a suitcase full of stuff, you're not thinking about all your photographs, or all the little things that your kids made for you when they were in school. Or the gifts that your mom and your dad or your grandmother that you can't ever see again, you're never going to get, because now it's floating down river somewhere. You're never going to find it again. That's the devastation part, and the lives lost. That's the most important. Or pets. Let's say you had chickens and cows, or your family dogs, kittens. I don't know. It's all gone. Everything's gone. Everything you work so hard for is gone. And people say, well, they have insurance. Yeah, some of them might. But I'm telling you right now, if your house is worth $300,000 and you get $300,000 or more, a little bit more than that, it doesn't replace all the love that you shared in that house, all the memories, all the personal items that you've lost. Or if you lost a loved one, it doesn't replace them. No matter, I don't care how much money they can offer you, it's never going to replace that. And it's terrible. It's just really sad. And this right here, when something like this happens, this is when a state deserves a bailout. If Texas says we need help pay our bills, we just our insurance companies are going belly up, and we need some help. I don't have a problem with giving a little more money from my state to help their state. But when a state spends their money and they go bankrupt because they're getting sex changes for prisoners in prison, and doing stupid shit like that, or pushing everybody to buy electric cars or whatever dumb things that they have, that's the kind of stuff, or forcing companies out of business and making them open places that are closing all the nuclear power plants. I'll just put that. They've closed every single nuclear power plant in California, and they're all hurt and have rolling blackouts. And so I have friends of mine whose relatives are on ventilators and stuff, and they say that sometimes when they've had the rolling blackouts, when it's really, really hot, or the high part of winter where there's too many people using too much electricity, and they're forced to have a rolling blackout, they have to go so much time without any electricity while they're rolling until it's their turn. And that sometimes it's very close to where they are running out because they don't have electricity. And that's the kind of stuff that's scary. And it's sad that they do that when there's not even a disaster. It's not even this. It's just a normal thing because they got rid of all the nuclear power plants. Just stuff, stupid shit like that. And they're going to want us to bail them out again. California's asked us many times, and New York's going to probably be next. It's sickening. When this is the reason we're supposed to help states with money, federal money. This is what you help them for. All these people that work their asses off to build something, and they were part of society, and they were taking care of their families and taking care of their businesses and doing all that stuff, and they lose it due to nothing that had anything to do with them. They didn't go gamble it away. They didn't do drugs and lose it. They lost it due to a natural, horrible thing, tragic thing like this. And that's what we're supposed to help them with federal aid for. I wanted to say that and get that off my chest, but it's sad. And I'm going to share that in the chat real quick so everybody can see it and share it with others, because I think it's important that other people get to see, visualize it. Because if you have never been there, never seen anything like that, or go back, try to clean up afterward and help your friends, where they have 6 inches of mud in the bottom of their house, and their walls, it's seeped into their paneling and everything on the sides inside their home. It's seeped all the way up to the ceiling, so everything has to be gutted. The whole house to be gutted out. And then you have to take these dryers in there and try to dry it out so that's not filled with mold. And most of the time, by the time you can get back, it's already moldy and there's nothing left. There's nothing in your house that you can keep. And if it's something that you didn't get to take with you, even stuff in the attics of these people's houses, because a lot of my friends lived in shotguns, and some of them had these small little, like, we call them attics, but they really weren't what I'm used to, an attic. They're just like this long, skinny thing in the middle of the top of the house because it's real long and skinny. And they put their Christmas trees and a few other things up there, but they would even have mold on them. So it's floods are horrible. I mean, fire burns everything to the cinders and it destroys everything down to nothing. This just swells up, and your house will have dead animals in it. I mean, it just has so much nastiness floating around in that. There's trees and cars and bicycles and toys and dirt and rocks and sticks, just anything and everything that just gets washed along. It's there. It's in your house now. And part of your house is down the road in someone else's house or in their car or whatever. It's really, really pathetic and sad. And until you knew someone who's been through something like that, it's just really, you can't fathom how horrible it really is until you've seen it with your own eyes. Okay, let's see. This other thing I found I thought was pretty interesting. I think this is it. Yeah, here's another one I thought was really, really interesting. I'm going to open this up, turn it up, open it up so you guys can watch it. Here we go.
Which decision is made?
All right, pretty dismal. A judge now is set to hear arguments over whether to lift a gag order that's in place in the criminal case against Bryan Kohberger. Media outlets are pushing for the release of all case documents after Kohberger pled guilty to murdering 4 University of Idaho students earlier this month. Let's go ahead and bring in Josh Ritter. He's a Fox News contributor, prosecutor, and defense attorney. Josh, take a look at this from the media companies who are making the case for the gag order to be lifted. They say these non-dissemination orders have been predicated on a singular justification, preservation of Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair trial. But Mr. Kohberger's change of plea and the terms of his plea agreement have rendered that justification moot. In the absence of this justification, the non-dissemination order's infringement on the First Amendment, is impermissible. So essentially they're saying there's no trial. There's nobody that we need to keep neutral on this anymore. Why is it still in place?
They make an excellent point, and I think it's right. I think it's time. This case has existed under an extremely strict gag order for far too long. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories that have come out of it, a lot of conjecture that's come out of it, and I think it's about time that we start to know exactly what took place and some of the investigation that was done. And perhaps we'll get to some of the answers that we've all been so curious about. But the point being made by the media group is absolutely true. He's pled guilty. The case is over. There's no more concern about it affecting a trial. And so I think they make an excellent point. I do expect the judge to lift the order today.
Okay, interesting. So we'll be tracking that live here on Fox News Channel. Also, want to make sure that while I have you, I ask you about this terrible American Idol murder case. Happened out in LA. This producer and her husband murdered in their home in the middle of the night. No known motive yet. Take a look at this. This is from LA's LAPD Lieutenant Guy Golan on the next steps to us today. We still don't know if the suspect drove to the scene or if he walked or if he took a bus or an Uber. We have a lot of legwork to show the suspect being at the residence other than simply surveillance video that we recovered from the house. We have the next 48 hours to do that. How crucial is gathering that evidence of, pictures of the lead up to the murder?
It's very important. I mean, it's one thing to identify the suspect, and it sounds like they've done that. They have surveillance, they have other forensic evidence, but they really need to fill out the story, because that's going to be a big question at trial as to why did this take place. Now, the ultimate answer may be that it is without a motive, that there is no reason why. He was suffering from, my understanding is, severe mental unrest. So it may just be that this was completely one of those nightmarish acts of random violence. But they do need to do the legwork, because this is an important case. You're talking about multiple murder, 2 homicides. You're talking about a home invasion that led to that murder. This is what we call special circumstance murder, where he would be eligible for life without parole, perhaps even pursuit of the death penalty, though I don't think so given the circumstances of his mental health. But it's a very important case, and they need to do all the legwork that they can.
There is some reporting as well, I believe, that this suspect was familiar to police, to local police, in recent months and years. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that's a real problem. There's reports that neighbors were aware that he was having problems. They heard yelling coming from the home constantly. Apparently, police had been out to that location more than once, though he had only been arrested one time. That's something that we're going to need to get to the bottom of, too, as to why was this person, not under some sort of more severe care, perhaps a lockup facility? How did he have access to weapons? Why was he still walking the street when he was obviously exhibiting signs of violence in the past? Something that people are going to want to have answers to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Josh, we know that you're going to continue to follow this case for us as it develops, as we will here on Fox News Channel as well. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very, very sad, both of those cases. The Kohlberger case, I've been following a little bit because the guy was, now that they were murdered, he'd been following, I think, one of the women that he ended up killing, the first one, the one he beat her really bad in the face and shoulders and stuff, and then he stabbed her multiple times. And all that's going to be coming out. I think there's a documentary that they're making with some of the parents, because 3 of the parents, or 3 of the students' parents, were very upset that they made a plea deal with this guy without talking to them first. They didn't. Can you believe that? The guy didn't even have to tell them why he did it or anything. They just got a plea deal with him. It's disgusting, because they had so much evidence against him. I don't know. If I was one of the parents, I would have been really ticked off too. But it just seems like the people in charge now in the government, whatever level of the government, the court, or state representatives, governors, lieutenant governors, senators, that they're in it for themselves, that they've lost the view of what I thought it was like, or supposed to be, when I was a kid growing up, about looking up to police officers and other people, judges, and being respectful to all these people, because they had jobs to protect us, that we vote them in, the sheriff, all those different people for these jobs, because we think they're going to do their job and make sure that they try to keep as many bad guys off the streets as they can, and that people follow the rules, get a driver's license, you take care of your vehicle so that it's safe on the road, and you try not to drink and drive or do drugs and drive, that you have the right to defend yourself in your home, and all these different things. And I'm slowly realizing now that I'm a grown up, it's like it sucks because you're realizing you're the only one. If you get your driver's license like you're supposed to, and you pay your taxes and you take care of your vehicle and you follow the law, that you're the one with your head on the chopping block. That's what I'm realizing. I'm realizing the ones who pay all the taxes to pay for the roads and the courts and everything that we have in our state, we're the ones that are looked at as the lowest on the totem pole. It's like all the people we put in office just go, oh, well, we just get another taxpayer, oh, whatever, and the criminals are given all this free shit, and they can drag stuff through court for years and years, all while the people who lost loved ones or lost whatever happened to them to have to take this person to court. You're even losing more every single time you have to go to court, because now you got to pay another lawyer and all these other fees just to see this person prosecuted. And then out of the blue, you find out, oh, we have to deal with them. So now you don't know why they killed your family. You don't know what happened because they don't tell you shit, because you're nothing. You're just a taxpayer. And I just think that's ridiculous. I think we should be the number one. The person who works hard and pays taxes should be the first to know everything that's going on, with their money. What are you doing with my money? Who you paying, who you giving our money to? You're not fixing our roads. You're not fixing our schools. And we should have the right to ask those questions and get answers. I don't understand why it seems like what we think or want doesn't matter. It just, I don't know. I'm beside myself trying to understand it. But this next thing that I found, I had no idea. I'd never seen anything about this. It just came across my timeline, and I'm lucky that I follow so many great people that are trying to inform others. And I can't keep up. If it wasn't for like American and a bunch of others that I follow on X, them sharing it in their DM groups and stuff, there's a lot of things I would miss. I wouldn't see it at all. So I'm very thankful for it. Oh, hi, Six Nations. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, I'm just talking about, I've been basically using this whatever of this show to rant about a bunch of stuff, but I have shared a couple really good things, so we'll see. But thank you for coming back to hang out and listen to me rant. But I don't know. I'm just trying to understand how we let it get this bad, and how come so many people basically have to be beat over the head with a brick of knowledge for them to open their eyes and go, what's going on? I have one sister like that, and I hate to say that, but they're on Facebook. They play games a lot. They watch lots of movies, and stuff like that, but they don't want to hear about any of this stuff because it's sad. It makes me upset. And I'm like, well, it makes you upset. Then that you'd think that you'd want to try to fix it or try to find a way to fix it. At least in your own state. You said this, that, and the other so bad in your state, but a lot of people just think that if they shut the door and they don't listen to it, that, oh, well, it'll fix itself or something. I don't know. I just don't understand. I really don't. I wish I did. Maybe it would be easier for me to deal with some of this stuff if I understood. But my mom said, you don't want to understand, because once you understand, then you're just like them. So I'm like, well, I don't think so. But that's how my mother always tried to explain it, that you would understand it because you'd have to think like they do. And that's what's so hard on police officers and detectives and stuff, is because they have to think like the killer. I watched a documentary, and it was about the agents that hunted down the Green River Killer. And they went and they did a lot of sit downs with Ted Bundy, trying to get information to try to help them catch a serial killer that killed over 47 women that they know of. And this guy was so sick, he would take his little boy, it's like 6-year-old boy, with him when he'd pick up prostitutes and stuff. And then I guess he chloroformed his son or whatever, and murdered these women. It's just disgusting. Yeah, just look up the Green River Killer and you'll be disgusted. But what's so funny, and they're almost all like this, all of them, BTK, the Green River Killer, Ted Bundy, all of them, they'd rather give up and be arrested and go to prison than get the death penalty or to be murdered after they've taken so many lives, because they're freaking cowards. They are such cowards. So all these people that are devil worshipers and murder for fun, all these sick freaks, they're wimps. They won't stand there and fight with you. They wouldn't fight it out in the street. One kick in the balls and they'd be begging for you to spare their life. I mean, that's how much a wimp that these people are wimps. That's why they pick women and children, to kill, because they're wimps, or young boys, like what was this, John Wayne Gacy, that guy. Ugh, disgusting. Oh, disgusting. So, oh, really? You think Dahmer did that? I think Dahmer was way too young to do that, because I thought John Walsh's son was killed a long time before he was really into puberty, because usually it's when they're reaching puberty or just out of puberty is when they start, just going through it, that they start doing that. They go from animals and stuff, and then they just go to people, things like that. I've watched quite a few documentaries, but I heard a documentary with Adam Walsh's father on there, and he talked about the man that he really believed kills his son, and that he said he told him he did. He was in prison, and it wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer. I can't remember what his name is right now, but you need to go look that up. Look up Adam Walsh's parents and the documentary of him getting to talk to the guy, because the only thing they ever found was his little boy's head. The guy cut his head off, and I think he hid the body somewhere and didn't want anybody to find it or something. I don't know. It was really disgusting. But there's so many sick people in the world, and until we get rid of them and put them away permanently, they're just going to keep doing it, because a person that gets a high off of something like that isn't going to quit doing it. So we just have to realize that. And when we started letting all the people out of these psycho hospitals and stuff, and not having somewhere for these people to go, it's just gotten worse. And now they're in the streets. All you got to do is drive around in like New York, Boston, San Francisco, LA, all these big cities, even the outskirts of Dallas, Texas and stuff. And it's sad and pathetic. New Orleans was pretty bad, but we get certain people in office, and they're really good about keeping the streets cleaned up and just going and arresting these people. And the ones that are listen and do what they're told, they would help them get to these halfway houses. And they had lots of nice little facilities where people would donate their time to cook meals 3 times a day, stuff like that. And now, when I lived in Arizona for a while, there weren't really a lot of them in the streets because it's so hot. You just didn't see them. So, a lot of these smart ones, they find a place to go where it's cool, and where they can get something to eat or whatever. And, it's sad, but you do have homeless in every single town. There's some homeless person or someone begging. But I was thinking of some ideas. A couple of my friends did it, and they didn't have cameras at the time. This was, years and years ago. They just never thought about having, cell phones. I mean, if you had a cell phone back then, you probably could have done it. But they were in junior high, and they were wanting to do a documentary, to show their movie making skills. And they did have a movie camera, but it's not the same thing as what you think how easy it is. And they were following a group of like 6 different people. I think it was 2 women and 4 men, and they were beggars. That's all they did was they'd have signs, and they'd stand around, and one of them had a dog, a little like half-breed mutt that they took with them, and they would beg, from tourists, and they would see hundreds of people giving them money all night long, all night long. They'd sit in different places, and they get kicked out, told you can't sit here, and they'd move down the road a little bit. And then one of them, I don't know why, but one of them said, I'm staying. I want to see where this person goes when they're done. And they followed these two guys that would, they didn't hang together, but every so often you see them pass and like talk to each other for a minute, and then they'd go on their own ways and just keep begging, for money or whatever. And they followed them to a really nice, like Bronco type vehicle. And then they said that they followed them as far as they could until they pulled into some neighborhood that said it was a gated community. So these two people, whoever they were, weren't poor. And that basically they're making tax-free money, because a person hands you $20 here, $5 there, $10 there, $100 bill or whatever. That's a lot of money you can make in a week and not pay taxes on it. So they lucked out. But what a good documentary that would be, wouldn't it? To get some groups of college students or whatever and send them out in different places where they have lots of panhandlers and stuff, and follow them. Follow them, just walk around, not blatantly obvious, because they're definitely not going to be do the same thing, but just follow them around and see where they end up going. I bet quite a few of them aren't going and sleeping on a park bench somewhere. They're going to a decent house, and they just found a really good way to make a few bucks and not have to pay taxes on it. But here's my my last little thing I thought I'd share. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was shocked when I watched it, because I was like, I hadn't seen this anywhere. This is the first time I've seen it. But it says the single biggest COVID scam in American history. Now, this is why I got pulled in, because I wanted to read it, and everybody knows I didn't get the jab. I did not get the jab, and I lost tons of work that I could have gotten if I just had that little card. And a lot of my friends were getting fake cards so that they could keep working, but I just couldn't do it. All I could think of was that my mom would know that I was lying and stealing from someone because I lied and got a fake card. And it would go against everything I stand for, that I didn't believe that anyone should be told they couldn't work or get a job because of their they didn't get the jab. And what cracks me up is how you don't get a job because your skin color, right? Or because you're a female and not a male. How is that any different than saying if you don't have your card, then you don't get the job? I think it's disgusting, and I'm so thankful I didn't fall for it. But it says this is the criminal of the Democrats chose in 2024 for vice president. So I thought that was funny. Governor Tim Tampon Walz allowed a group of politically connected Somali criminals, including Aymar, or however you pronounce it, Ayman Omar, to embezzle approximately $250 million in public funds. So there's a video down here. I just wanted to give a little bit about it, but this is big. I hope that we have so much stuff coming out now that a few people are going to get arrested, and we're going to actually get to see people get arrested and start to go to trial. That's what I'm hoping. I want to see some trials happening before the 2026 elections. I think that we really need it. We need to see some justice, whether it's for stuff like this or for whatever it's for. We want to see some of these people that have tried to cram their point of view down our throat and force us to convert to whatever it is that they believe, yet we're the ones that are suffering. So it'd be nice to see some of these people get what they deserve. So hopefully we will. Here we go.
Gang of politically connected Somali fraudsters steal $250 million of your money. It was the single biggest COVID scam in American history. During the pandemic, the government was giving out money left and right. A nonprofit in Minnesota, Feeding Our Future, got $250 million to send food to needy kids. Sounds good, right? Here's the problem. Almost none of it was used for food. The Somali scammers blew our cash on real estate, cars, extravagant get trips. We have wire transfers that show thousands going to car dealerships. $160,000 went to some company in China. and $500,000 was sent to Kenya to buy an apartment. A $500,000 apartment in Kenya is probably a palace. But our tax dollars weren't just used on goodies. The politicians got a taste too. Ilhan Omar got thousands of dollars in donations from some of the scammers. These guys weren't criminal masterminds. It was sloppy. When they cooked the books, they made up names of their fake clients. They came up with these names. Are you ready? Unique Problem. Friday Donations. How'd nobody catch that? Well, early on, Walz's administration thought it looked a little suspicious, so they froze the funds. Then the Somalis sued and called Walz racist, so he kept letting them steal. They didn't bother to crack into the bank accounts or issue subpoenas. Walz just put his hands in the air and said, I'm not racist. Take whatever you want. Minnesota has a huge Somali population. You can't get called racist and expect to win another election there. Walz even gave one of the fraudsters the Minnesota Outstanding Refugee Award. 3 years later, she was indicted. No thanks to Walz, the feds came in after her, ignored the problem for years. During the trial, the Somalis tracked down a juror and dropped off a Hallmark bag on their doorstep, filled with 120 G's, and a little note saying there's more to come if she acquits. This all happened under Walz's nose. He had every chance to stop it and failed. Just like he failed to protect his city during the riots, and just like he failed his unit when he retired before deployment. This is the guy Kamala Harris chose as her number 2.
It sounds like they knew exactly who they wanted to pick for number 2 because he would do whatever he was told. I mean, at least that's how it seems to me. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Gang.
Turn that off. But yeah, it's sad. I mean, I can't even fathom what we could have possibly done with the millions of trillions of dollars that have been wasted with Doge and all of this kind of shit that you've seen with COVID and all the money, the pallets of cash that Obama sent over to Iraq and all the money that were sent to Ukraine. You know, I'm not talking about tanks and ammo and things like that. I'm talking about cash, tons and tons of cash just laundered out left and right. You know, how many people could we have helped with that money? How many cities or schools or towns could have been helped? Look how many, all those people that were hurt because of that one hurricane that went through Florida, went up the coast. I can't remember the name of the hurricane, but so many people lost their homes. They couldn't get their insurance, all those problems. If we had money just laying around, we could have helped lots and lots of people have food and a place to live instead of having to live out in tents in the wintertime. Stuff like that. It's just stupid and wasteful. I just don't get it. Why is so many people so greedy? Yeah, I would love to have a fancy house. I don't think I could live in a mansion, honestly. Having a room with ceiling so high that, you know, it just all that wasted space. And all I could think of is the air conditioner running and filling up all that area, or the heater, you know, in the ceiling, how much we're wasting electricity and whatever else. You know, I don't know. I just don't think I could live that way and be happy, because I'd feel like I'm wasting so much. Just like when you go to a restaurant, you order, and I see all these people, they order all these meals and they don't even eat half their steak. They don't eat half their meal. And then they just leave it on the table. You know, I take everything home, everyone's stuff, and I say, oh, my chickens will love it. If they're not going to eat it, I'll give it to something, because something else in the wild's going to come and get it and eat it. I just can't stand to see so much waste. I just see it everywhere. Garbage cans filled with food that nobody wanted to eat, you know, but why'd you buy it all? You know, I don't know. I just don't understand. I wish I did, but I don't. But we just need to pray more. That's all I can think of is pray. Get involved in your towns and in your cities. Pick up trash. Volunteer at the VA. to read the veterans, go to nursing homes, and just visit with people. I remember when I was young and I was in school, and my grandmother was in a nursing home. Okay, and every weekend my mother would go get her and bring her home on Friday after she got from work, and we keep her, and then we take her back on Sunday evening after we went to dinner or whatever, and we spent as much time as we could with her until her illness got so bad that we just couldn't bring her home because we couldn't help enough to have her. But I just remember going and to pick her up, and all these little people in their wheelchairs and stuff begging us to take them home with us because nobody came to see them. Nobody took them, flowers. Nobody. I mean, I was always taking stuff. I got like jewelry boxes, that played music. We made things for my grandmother to hang on the wall, and we did stuff because we loved our grandma and we missed her. And to see, all those people just sitting around with nobody. And we'd ask the nurse and stuff, about them. And they said, well, her son came to see her like 4 months ago, stuff like that. It's just heartbreaking. So I can see why we are where we are a little bit, because people give up on people. They don't, for whatever reason, they had a drinking problem or whatever. And they just say, oh, well, that's not my problem. I can't do it anymore. And then once they're in a place, they just forget about them. They just throw away the keys, I guess. And it's sad. And I can tell you right now, I don't want that to ever happen to me. When I get old and I'm in a nursing home, I hope that my grandchildren and my kids, will come see me. I hope. I think that's all we'd all want, because, it sucks to be by yourself. It sucks to be lonely and have no one. Or you have someone there, but you just don't take any time to spend with them. You got your mom or your dad or your cousin or your brother or someone that needs more time and effort to take care of them because they're not all, healthy or able to do things like they used to. And we just don't want to take the time. We'd rather watch a show on TV or go to the movies or go hang out with our friends than spend 20 minutes playing a board game or something with someone else in your home, and go out to the restaurant. This is another thing. I've said this many times, I know. Go out to a restaurant and you see people sitting at a table, a family, like maybe 5 or 6 people, and they're all on their phones. They're all sitting there like this with their phones, just, and they're not talking to each other. It's sad. It's really sad. And what's really another thing that's irritating is that I'll not be on Spaces for like a week. I'll go to 1 or 2 in the morning when I'm having my coffee or whatever before I go to the gym or whatever. And then I come on and they're like, where have you been? You've been on here in ages. And it really hasn't been ages. It's been, 5 days or something, but I don't go on every night. But guess what? When I get on there and I do just scroll to see if there's anything I need to put in the shit show chat, it's I don't know how you guys do it. Some of you people are on every single night, and I don't know how you do it. I hope that you're not forgetting that you have other family members in your home or pets that would love to be taken for a walk and petted or played with a toy. I have chickens, so I know right now I have a hen with 4 baby chicks. She had 6. But the first after 2 nights after they hatched, something came and took 2 right out from under her, because the next morning I couldn't find any holes, couldn't find anything. So I have no idea how it got in, but 2 were gone. And I know the chickens didn't eat them, because normally a chicken, if it attacks another baby chick, they peck it. They don't eat it. They just peck it to death and it's laying there dead. So I know it wasn't that. It was a rat or I don't know. I have no idea. But I went and got a pet carrier with holes on me about like that big in it, around the top. And then it was all metal mesh and stuff. And I haven't lost one since then. And they're getting bigger now. They're almost fully feathered. And they have little tail feathers. They're real little. And she's doing a real good job. But, it takes time to do that. And I rather feed and water my chickens and make sure they're safe than sit on a space. Usually when I'm on spaces, I'm painting or I'm sewing or I'm crocheting. I'm doing something besides that. You know, I'm doing laundry or cooking or doing something around my house. I'm not just sitting on my phone doing nothing, or I'm writing for one of these type of little things, or researching information for like the Friday Night Shit Show, which is one of my biggest ones, or a Girl Guy in a Movie. I'll be researching stuff, you know, trivia for the movie that we're going to watch. So, you know, that's what I do when I'm on spaces. I'm multitasking, and I'm amazed of how much time people have. It must really be a lot worse out there than I thought about loneliness, for people to have to spend that much time on a space every single day, every single night. And that's one reason why I love it when American does. He's a person I know on X. He does road trips. You know, he's doing stuff for him and his wife, or his cabin, or a friend, or one of his kids, or something. And he's taking a trip, and he's driving in his truck, and his service isn't always good. And then he'll run a space and listen to the space while he's driving, instead of listening to the radio or whatever. And, you know, but he's multitasking. He's doing something with his time. And it's nice, you know, because to see people doing things, you know, other things besides living on an app or living on their phones, taking trips with their families, going shopping with their families. It was so nice when I got on the 4th to scroll down, up and down the timeline, just to see if anybody had posted anything emergency wise or anything like that. And to hardly see anybody I knew in the space, you know, because there's a little line now. There's a little thing there that shows the space and has a little microphone or whatever on there, which is great, because I can't really see spaces at the top of my thing. Like these little, I did for a little bit, and then I didn't have them anymore. And every so often I'll see one, it'll pop up, but it's just really hard for some reason. I don't know why. I don't, maybe it's something, algorithm or something on my phone or something. But now that they have that little thing, I can see, you know, who's got a mic. You can only see basically who's got a mic and who's talking. But it was nice to see on the 4th where I hardly saw anybody I knew on there, and that was good, because that meant they were doing things with their family and enjoying our Independence Day, which I thought was really, really, really made me feel good to think about that. But I wish more people would just think about things like that instead of just sitting on their phone all day long, you know, doing nothing and accomplishing nothing. Because we all have families of some, you know, even if you don't have your own kids, you have nieces and nephews, or you have cousins, or you have parents, or you have siblings, or even just friends that might need your help, that might just need somebody to listen to them, you know, for 15 minutes. I don't know, just things like that. I just wish more people would start focusing on that instead of whether they got 15 clicks or something on your, you know, timeline or whatever. But I want everybody to have a great night, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for the Friday Night Shit Show. You know, it's gonna be basically politics. So if you don't want to hear politics, don't tune in. But I enjoy doing it. I mean, even if I'm by myself, you know, I can do it by myself. I don't have a problem with that. I love talking, as everybody can tell. But I had 4 sisters growing up, so I didn't get to talk a lot. We had to fight to get our words in. You know what I'm saying? If you've had a sister, I think you understand. I didn't have any brothers, so I wish I'd had one brother or regret, I guess, because I was a tomboy. I was the middle one, and I did everything with my dad. So I did all the outdoor yard work and things like that, which I'd love doing. I'd rather work in the yard any day than mop or dust or vacuum or do any of that crap. I just can't stand it, but I do it. I don't want to, but I will do it. But I hope everybody has a great evening, and I hope I didn't make you too depressed by some of the stories that we talked about. But they're real stories. It's stuff that you're probably not going to hear from someone else. And the few little links that I did share, like the little boy calling into the radio station and talking about what God told him when he talked to God. I get so emotional thinking about it, but more of us need to talk to God. But thank you very much, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
If you wear nice clothes, people think you're showing off. If you wear simple clothes, people think you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, then you're a coward. If you're successful, then you're arrogant. And if you're struggling, then you're lazy. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always have something to say. So ignore people and their opinions. Because so long as your God is pleased with you, who cares what people think?
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.